Water, one of the nature's best gift to mankind, is now badly being needed by the mankind and all other living organisms. On the other hand, the depletion of water further increases because of this increased demand in usage. Groundwater is one of the main source of water which is still being required by many in many occasions. To address our idea towards groundwater recharge, which has its impact over climatic conditions over the locality. Our team consists of myself, Muhammad Akil, and my teammate Rishi Kumar. Let us first see about the relation between the groundwater and climatic change. The groundwater level in a locality not only decides the availability of water in that area but also has an effect over the moisture content and dryness of air, thus affecting the climatic condition in that area. Also, a huge climatic pandemic called drought arises because of this insufficient water presence in the ground in a locality. Our idea is to improve the groundwater level, thereby providing a drought-free environment with preferable climatic conditions. This idea is to increase the groundwater level by condensing the atmospheric air to its dew point temperature and letting it seep into the ground through a pipe having uniform arrangement of pores. Also, the power input to the compressor that is going to be operated in the water condensing cycle, that is the cycle through which air is going to be condensed to water. And this power input could be given by gravity mechanism. This could reduce the maintenance cost of the overall equipment, thus creating a smart and user-friendly living. Our main motivation of doing this is brought in by a research paper entitled Groundwater Storage and Depletion Trends in Tamilnadu State, India, which took an overall study of groundwater depletion from the years 2004 to 2012. The researchers Chinnasamy Pennant and Govindasamy has seen a tremendous decrease in the groundwater level from the years 2004 to 2012, and also this has further increased in the next 8 years, that is till 2020. So our main problem is that there is a high demand of water on one side, but on the other side high amount of water is getting depleted, and especially groundwater is getting depleted. Also, there are many difficulties in accessing the groundwater as many costly equipments are needed to access it. The solution that we are proposing comprises of 4 different mechanisms. The first one is the gravity mechanism, with which we are going to produce the power that has to be supplied. Next, second mechanism is the condensing mechanism. Through this mechanism, we are going to condense the atmospheric air to water. Discharge mechanism. The discharge mechanism is the mechanism through which the water, thus condensed, is going to be uniformly distributed to the underground. Next is the controlling system. This part makes this entire project a smart one, which gives us a complete control over the operation. Let us move on to the first mechanism, that is the gravity mechanism. This entire cuboid is going to be the gravity mechanism, which is going to take in gravity as the input and supply us with the required power. This gravity mechanism needs several components which are discussed as follows. Gravity mechanism consists of the following components: a central fixing member, then a fixed chamber, a counterload chamber, a storage chamber, a load and a pulley. To the pulley, the load and a counterload chamber are attached on both the sides. At first, the load, due to its weight and due to the pull of gravity, comes down and it goes into the fixed chamber. As it gets deep into the fixed chamber, the liquid in the fixed chamber is going to get transferred to the counterload chamber through a pipe which establishes a connection between the fixed chamber and the counterload chamber. Now, as the counterload chamber gets heavy because of the fluid that is being filled into it, it comes down and the load goes up. As the counterload chamber comes down, a rod is kept which is going to push opening a side of the counterload chamber, which makes the water that's stored in the counterload chamber to drop down to a storage chamber. This in turn will cause the load on the other side to come up, and this storage chamber stores water which is going to get pressurized to the fixed chamber by a compressing rod that is going to get operated as the counterload chamber comes down. To say in sequence, the counterload chamber comes down, also pushing the water in the storage chamber. Thus, the water gets pressurized and it goes to the fixed chamber. The load again comes down and this cycle is repeated. Thus, we have a bidirectional rotation in the pulley which is going to get transferred to unidirectional with geared setup. This mechanical rotary motion is going to get converted to electrical power with the help of an alternator. This electrical power is then stored in a battery that supplies the required power to the compressor in the condensing unit. This condensing unit drives in the atmospheric air with the help of a propeller that we see here through this tube. And now the input air is going to get stored in a unit which has refrigerant flow as per the normal refrigerating cycle. This refrigerant flow condenses the air input to its liquid form, that is water. This water is then get stored at the bottom unit, and as we operate through an app, the water will be supplied to the ground through this rod which is closed on both the sides but has several openings in it which we could see here as small pores. As the water gets filled into it, it gets pressurized and the water sprinkles out through these pores. This entire tube is fixed underground. This is the application through which we are going to make our groundwater management system a smart one. This application could be accessed in smartphones as well as in desktops. This application has two divisions. The first one shows us the machine water limit. Machine water limit is nothing but the water limit that is present in the condensing unit of the machine. Now, if the water limit rises to a certain level or if it falls below a certain level, a beep or an indication will be shown in our smartphones. For example, here if it goes beyond 100 liters, then a red color arrow mark will be shown in the graph and also an indication will be sent to the mobile. Automatically, the water input to the machine will be shut off. Similarly, if it goes beyond a certain limit, for example, if it goes less than 25 liters, then too a beep will be sent to a mobile or a notification will also be sent. On the other hand, excess water will be supplied to the machine part. The other one that we could access through this app is the groundwater limit. Groundwater limit is nothing but it's the actual measurement of how much liters of water or what is the moisture content in the ground. Now, according to this moisture content only, the entire machine is going to get operate. We make this happen with the help of moisture sensors fixed in certain locations where we have to measure the groundwater. If the groundwater goes lesser than a limit, then it gets notified with the help of a beep or a notification sent to the application. For example, here if the groundwater level goes less than 25 liters, for example 20 liters or 11 liters, then a notification will be sent, and according to this the operation will change and the amount of water that is going to be discharged through the sprinklers or through the pores in the tube will get increased, and the operation thus is made in a smart way. Put it short, the solution consists of 4 different mechanisms. The first one is the gravity mechanism. Here gravity is taken as input which drives a pulley with the help of a counter load. Now the bidirectional rotary motion is going to get converted to a unidirectional motion with the help of a gear setup, and this unidirectional power motor is converted to an electric power with the help of an alternator and is stored in a battery. Next is the condensing mechanism. Here the condensing mechanism operates as per the normal refrigeration cycle. Here air is taken from the atmosphere with the help of a propeller and is sent to the container which is maintained cool with the help of refrigerants like ethane. The next one is the discharge mechanism. The water produced by the condensation is passed to a tube underground which is completely closed. This tube has few uniform pores, and as the water seeps in, the pressure in the tube increases, and as a result of which water will be sprinkled out through the pores uniformly. Next one is the control mechanism. That is the mechanism that turns the entire thing to a smarter way. Here the user could operate the condensing part only when needed. Here the user could monitor the groundwater level with the help of moisture sensor with the mobile. The equipment operates accordingly, which could be monitored again by the user through the application. Thank you.